Hey lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be something I'm really excited to start filming as part of a ongoing series. It's going to be the first of my how to be successful as a micro influencer videos. I get a lot of comments on social media about lots of different things in regards to my platform, my brand, being an influencer, lots of those things. And a lot of people actually also request a video to be done about certain topics. So I decided to make that happen. As you guys know, I am a small YouTuber, a small influencer, and they call smaller influencers micro influencers. I'm not really bothered by that because there's some people who, have millions of followers, and so obviously in comparison to that, I am micro, most definitely. But I am out here trying to, share our brand, share our life story with you guys so that, you guys see another viewpoint of honest motherhood, lifestyle tips, beauty tips, the things that we go through as a couple in our marriage, all of those things. So, like I've said in my introduction for this channel, I just really hope that by sharing our journey, it helps other people out there. So before I get into this too much further, I will just preface it by saying these are just going to be some kind of basic tips that I have if you are interested yourself in becoming an influencer online. I know, what else do they call it? It's like a social media figure or public figure, I think is what it's called. So if that's kind of your goal, then this is a video for you. And like I said, it'll just be kind of some basic tips. If there's topics that I think that I could go into a little bit further, I will say that. And then if you guys want to give me some feedback by commenting down below to say, if there is some interest in wanting me to do a video about a specific topic further, or if there's something I don't mention that you guys want to hear my opinion on or a video on, then definitely let me know down in the comments as well. One reason I'm excited to film this video is in the couple months that I've been doing influencing, specifically on social media, I have received help myself from a few other influencers, Instagrammers, YouTubers, just, some tips here and there. So I'm happy to share information that I can to help others because obviously that's the main goal of my brand. But I will say, if you guys are looking for help, then you catch more bees with honey than you do vinegar. Is that the saying? I just get a lot of like really kind of pushy and rude, not comments, but messages about people who want help and they basically just want me to give them a quick fix. I can't do that. It's really hard to be an influencer. It takes a lot of work, and I really like to help people when they're super nice. So keep that in mind. So I already feel like the introduction to this video is super long, so I will also preface it by saying this might be a two-part video. If it is, then I will let you know, obviously, and you guys will just have more info to watch. I feel like I have a lot to say, even if it is just kind of surface level basic tips. Okay, so the first tip that I have is actually for you guys to realize I'm not an expert. It's probably not the best thing for me to say in the beginning, but I say that about everything that I talk about in my like disclaimer at the bottom of my description box. I am just a regular person who is out here teaching myself how to do something that I want to do. And I've had a little bit of success over the last couple months, and people, want answers. And I just want you to know, like, I'm a real person. And like I said, I am just kind of out here learning myself. But if I can, I will obviously help you guys because that's what I want to do. So on top of that, something I can say based off of the fact that I'm kind of learning and teaching myself is that something I've kind of already said before, this is no joke. It is a real commitment, a time commitment, effort commitment. If you guys like go out there on Instagram or social media or whatever and you look at people who post pictures or talk about brands that they love or film videos or, whatever it is, basically the things that I'm doing, and you think, wow, I want to do that because that would be so easy for me to do while I'm at home with my baby and blah, blah, blah. Like, it could be something you could do while you're at home with your baby or when you're not at home with your baby. Like, I don't know what your situation is. If you want to make it happen, you can make it happen. But you should know up front that it is not easy. It's not easy at all. There is so much behind the scenes that goes on in regards to influencing or being a YouTuber or being on Instagram, whatever it is on social media. It takes a lot of time. So it may look like somebody just snaps a picture and then posts it. No, no, no. Like, there's so much more that goes behind it. Just for Instagram alone, I will tell you, people take pictures. They have to plan out those pictures. This is kind of a broad spectrum of what people do, not necessarily what I do exactly. But I could get into that further if I wanted to make a video just about how I take my pictures. But people take pictures. Sometimes they spend hours editing them. They take, time to load them from their cameras to their computers to their phones to whatever platform so that they can correct them however they want or edit them however they want and then post them. You have to think about what you're going to say. So you post a picture and then maybe you're working with a brand. Like, you have to come up with not only the creativity of how you're going to take the photo, but the creativity of how you're going to explain your life, on this caption or whatever it is, if you're specifically on Instagram again. And then you have to make sure you do all of your tags correctly. You have to make sure you put in hashtags that you want to put in. Like, you have to devote time to engaging, which hopefully if you're wanting to be an influencer, that's something that you want to do. So engaging with your audience. So there's so many levels just to that one picture that I've just talked about on Instagram, let alone if you want to blog. Like, you have to take the time to be creative and do all of the requirements for blogging. Same thing with YouTube, same thing with Facebook, all of those things. And sometimes brands want to see, like, if you're interested in working with brands, sometimes brands want to see that you have multiple platforms. So sometimes people can just do one. Sometimes if they want more success in regards to the influencing world, are going to have to do multiple platforms. So what I will say is that it takes so much work, and if you don't really understand that, then sometimes it's easier to judge those people. Sometimes it's easier to say, oh, that's something I could do. It's definitely not a deterrent that I'm trying to give you necessarily, but it is something that I hope people come to realize. Like, it is an actual job. It could be taken as an actual job. If you're working and then you're receiving money or some sort of benefit from it, like, you are working a job, in my opinion. And I think sometimes people think it's a hobby. And for some people it is, but for some people it's not. Okay, so that would be kind of going into my second tip. You need to decide what you want to do exactly. Are you wanting to be an influencer? Are you wanting this to be more of a hobby? Are you wanting to build a brand? Like, what are you wanting to do exactly? And you don't necessarily have to know everything day one, but you do kind of have to have a guiding point that maybe could be edited at a later date. Basically, you just need to figure out, what are you wanting to do? How are you wanting to impact the world? And how are you wanting to build your social media? It's okay if you simply wanted to do social media influencing as a hobby. It just kind of takes maybe a little bit more effort or different steps if you want to make an income from it. My assumption is that you are watching this video because you want to make an income from social media influencing, or whatever your goal is. You're trying to make an income by being on social media. And my tip for that, my next tip would be, you also need to figure out what you are bringing to the table. So if you have a goal to be an influencer, why would you be an influencer? What are you bringing to the table that people are going to want to watch? What are you bringing to the table that people are going to want to follow? Do you want to be on YouTube? Do you want to, you know, give people recipe ideas? Do you want to give people mothering tips, lifestyle tips? Do you have a general idea of how you want to influence the world, or what kind of impact you can have as a brand, as an influencer? You need to figure that out so that you can figure out what makes you unique and you can roll with that. A lot of people ask me, like, how do you do it? They just straight up ask me, like, how do you have a following? How do you do, you know, how do you have success on social media? And I think that's the biggest thing that I always tell people is what has worked for me may not work specifically for you, because what I am able to bring to the table is unique to me, unique to my journey, unique to my motherhood, lifestyle, marriage journey. And what you bring to the table is going to be unique to you, which is why I tell people, like, figure out what you're bringing to the table, how you want to use that, and be you. You want to definitely be unique in, like, the most natural way possible, because if you're trying to create some sort of persona, I think for me that would be even harder to make work.